Hey, welcome back to Confidence in Christ with Kayla. Today we are in Acts chapter 5, verses 1 and 2. We're going to cover the whole story of Ananias and Sapphira, which is verses 1 through 11, but I just want to highlight these verses. Now a man named Ananias, together with his wife Sapphira, also sold a piece of property. With his wife's full knowledge, he kept back part of the money for himself, but brought the rest and put it at the apostles' feet. Now, if you're not familiar with this story, basically what had been happening was the apostles were teaching and the believers were taking care of each other. They were selling their property, selling their belongings, and then giving the money to the apostles, and then they were divvying it out appropriately and making sure that nobody was in need. Well, Ananias and Sapphira were jumping on that game, and here it says, with his wife's full knowledge, he sold their property, and then he kept back part of the money for himself, and he brought the rest to the apostles' feet. Now, do you think God let that go unknown? Absolutely not. So Peter, who's the apostle he brings it to, he confronts him. He's like, how has Satan taken over your heart? How dare you keep money back from God? You can't hide anything from God. And you know what happened to Ananias? He dropped dead right there on the spot. And some young men came and they carried him off and buried him. And 3 hours later, his wife came up and they're like, hey, was this everything that you guys got from the sale of your land? And she goes, yep. So blatantly again, lying. And so they go, well, you didn't just lie to men, you lied to the Holy Spirit. You are not being truthful with God, and he knows. So she dropped dead. And the same guys came back, and they're like, oh, another dead person. And they carried her off and buried her beside her husband. I laugh. It's just, what a story, right? Wow. But that's the thing, is God knows every little part of our hearts. He knows everything we do. And this was a test for them. I'm assuming that if they would have told the truth and been like, no, we actually kept some for ourselves, I'm assuming it would have turned out different, but I don't know. It's all about our selfish ambitions and wanting to just keep things for ourselves. And this is a great story and lesson in knowing that God knows everything. He knows the desires of our hearts. He knows the depths of our selfishness and just the way our human flesh craves to care for ourselves and just watch out for number one, right? And he knows. And in this case, he struck them down right where they were. But let this be a reminder to us that we need to give God everything, not keeping anything back for ourselves. Now, I'm not saying to go out and sell all your land and all your property and things like that, unless God calls you to do that. But we need to give God our first fruits of every part of our lives. We need to give those to him. So they are a sacrifice and an offering to give him glory and bring just known his kingdom. And he will honor that, and he will show us through many different ways that he is powerful and he can take nothing and turn it into something. And I love this story because it gives me hope to, one, know that other people screw up. I've been selfish before, just like these people. Luckily, God didn't strike me dead right on the spot, or I'd been gone a long time ago. But that I'm not alone in this, and that God has got enough grace and mercy to pass out to me and to give me the opportunity to present things to him in a holy and pleasing way that brings him glory. So may that be the cry of your heart today, that you would bring those things before him fully, letting him know absolutely everything, not holding anything back, and just giving that to him as a sweet offering.